Welcome back. Honda Cadet for drivers from 8 years of age is up next, and I'm joined by the youngest driver in the championship and his mum alongside Rebecca. We'll start with Alex Lloyd first. Alex, how long have you been karting for? When did you start?
3 years old in a Bambino, and I went round the track Tilbury.
Okay, and you're 8 years old now, youngest driver in the championship this year. What do you love about the sport so much?
I like travelling around the country, learning new tracks. I like getting in the toe down really long straights, and well,
Racing against all the other drivers, I guess.
yeah.
And you're doing pretty well, aren't you? You're still quite young, but you're certainly on the radar at the moment. It's not right at the front of the grid, but you're certainly competing for somebody that's quite young. What are you hoping for in the sport over the next couple of years? You're looking to win this championship, I guess, are you?
Maybe. I don't know. We just see what happens, really.
And what's your ambitions moving forward? What would you like to do in the future?
Or be an F1 driver, because I just never want to give this sport up because I love it so much.
Okay, that's what all the kids say, of course. Rebecca, now, I was speaking to you on the telephone the other day. It was quite interesting what you were saying. You were saying that when he first started, you weren't that keen, were you?
No, I wasn't really that interested. Watching him going around, standing at dirt tracks, freezing cold. But obviously you get sucked in once they start winning. You start to enjoy it, and you watch your bank balance going down, and the time that it takes. You can't not love it because you're doing it every weekend. So you all have to really get involved. And yeah, I mean, I probably love it as much as him now.
And what is it that's changed your mind then?
Well, watching him, I suppose, being so young and doing so well at the moment, you have high hopes, don't you? Anything that your children do, you support them. And as I say, you have to really enjoy it, otherwise you're at home.
And how has your life changed? And I know karting for lots of mums and dads, it just changes your whole life, your social life, everything. How's your life changed?
I don't have a life. I come karting every weekend, and that's pretty much what I do. My friends think I'm mad, but as I say, unless you're involved, you don't understand. But yeah, it's completely changed. That's what I do every weekend. We're away. We're never at home. It's rare that we're there, but I wouldn't change it. I love it, and I hope that he goes all the way, as much as everyone else does, I suppose.
And what's the most important thing for you for his karting? I know I've spoken to the Eggers in the past, and I like their attitude with Johnny Eggers in the coma class, obviously. Their attitude with Johnny is enjoy it, always try your best, and never moan when you come in. Whatever happens, because in motorsport things can go wrong. Is that pretty much your attitude as well?
Pretty much. I always say to him, enjoy it, do your best, because one thing can go wrong and ruin the whole weekend, but then you just walk away and you learn from it, and then you go back and try your best again the next weekend. So yeah, as long as he enjoys it and he's safe, I'm happy.
No fear, Rebecca, you can bet he'll enjoy it. It's wheel-to-wheel the whole way at Glenagorse Park. Rory Hudson and Miles Apps on the front row of the grid. Morgan Porter and Matthew Hayden on row 2. Row 3 is Kimber and Lamb, and then we have Cian Jewis alongside Klaas Kuijka in the 8th position. Conor Grady and Tom Canning rounding out the top 10. 13 rookies in the field and 30 drivers in all. It's going to be brilliant down to Club Corner into the right-hander, and it looks like Porter has got his way past Miles Apps there, up into second place already as they run up the straight down towards turn 2. Another fast right-hander, and they make their way towards Spoon, and it's definitely going to be Hudson versus Porter. They look like they're already starting to make a bit of a break as they make their way through. A lot of jostling through the Spoon curve, and look at that. 2 men out in front of the rest of the field already. Hudson and Porter pushing each other forward, and they've broken away from the pack early.
Perry Cook, the 54 kart, dropped a couple of wheels on the grass, going up Dragon Straight, got away with it though, still running. These two out front already. Cian Jewis there's through to third place though, that's ominous at this stage. Cian's had a less than sterling day by his standards, but getting back in the action now in this final race of the day, this televised final. Rory Hudson, Morgan Porter and Cian Jewis, the top 3 as the karts come through Club Corner at the end of the first lap.
Well, Cian Jewis springing through from 7th on the grid to 3rd is absolutely fantastic, and he's actually bringing with him Matthew Hayden in the 58, so the 4 of them now are breaking clear of the rest of the pack. Cian Jewis now right up behind number 6 Morgan Porter. This is turning into a 4-way scrap very early on, and we know what it's like with Formula Honda Cadet. It's getting very close. Every time we go racing, it gets closer and closer, and Jewis is on the attack.
There was some talk earlier on around the paddock amongst a few of the boys. I happened to overhear that they should try and stop Cian Dewis winning the championship this weekend. If he won, they felt he would win the title. To be fair though, this is only round 3, can't win the title this weekend, but he does go down the inside of Morgan Porter there through Paddock Bend, so up to second place. Still Morgan Porter in third. And the 58 kart now, Matthew Hayden. These 4 are well clear of the rest as they come up through turn 2. 220 metres, dragging straight, and here comes Dewis for the lead and is going to hang out Rory Hudson to dry. Hudson goes from first to fourth.
So things are going to be a little bit harder then in this race for Rory Hudson. He allows 1 to go through, 2 more join him, and he suddenly finds himself in 4th position, but there's plenty of race still to go. And none of these men are willing to back down from a fight, particularly when there's still so many laps of this race yet to go. We look at these 4 and then look back. You can see the number 13. That's Mark Kimber slowly making his way into the fight. So I said that these 4 have pulled away. Well, not from Kimber. He suddenly got his head down and decided to close in the gap. And this could be exactly the right moment because he's broken away from the rest of that train. We could get a 5-kart scrap for victory here. So Dewis leading as they run once again up towards turn 2. Very close indeed with Hayden and Porter behind. Hudson is still there in 4th position. There's Kimber. We look back to 6th position. That's Klaas Kuijke in the 77 with the 57 of Keaton Samra in there as well. It's getting a little bit too close for comfort. Watch it on the outside. Whoa, there's not quite enough tarmac for everybody to get through. And that's brought up onto the inside. That is the 61 of Connor McCarthy who moves through, as too does the 11 of Miles Apps. So very good moves there through the field. Very close indeed, but at the front we still have this brilliant battle. 6th position though, it's anybody's game at this point, Alan.
Yeah, Connor McCarthy it is that's got this position at the moment with Miles Apps in behind. Miles would have been hoping to be out front with the leaders, but that's not the case. It is Cian Dewis, I think, well it was Cian Dewis that had the lead. Morgan Porter's out front now with Matthew Hayden in second, but not for long as Dewis looks up the inside. Does Matthew hold on? Does he? Just about side by side through the left-hander down the hill. Matthew with a couple of wheels on the grass, kept it together and runs Cian wide. And Cian on the grass and coming through down the inside, taking advantage. The 5-kart of Rory Hudson. It's all kicking off here, Jake.
Here we go. This is what we were expecting. Some great racing from these youngsters. They are not willing to back down from a fight. Up the inside, another position gain there from the 42 of Tom Canning as he makes his way past the 53 of Thomas Pegram, and some brilliant driving through the field. These young lads have certainly got the pressure, but they've got no problems at all with going wheel to wheel. They know how to make the smart moves, and we've got some great chargers through the field now. A big signal from the number 11 there of Miles Apps. Come on, let's get after these leaders. We're dropping too far back. We need to get after them, otherwise the race may as well be over now. Amazing stuff. We can see another move up the inside. Good move there from the number 8, I think that was, of Charlie Lamb, trying to make up a few positions and doing a good job of it. You still see this train of karts led by the 13 of Mark Kimber, who seems to have dropped back a little from the leading 4. Great battle here up the inside. This is the 14 of Connor Grady, moving up on the 35 of Ben Kasperjak, and that is a brilliant sweeping move there. It's important in this early stage of the championship to make as much ground as you can. Every point counts. A little later on into the race then, another signal from the 18 of Danny Harrison. Come on boys, let's get after the leaders. It's a lot of signalling going on, but it's not malicious, it's just a pure strategic game. Come on, let's get after the leaders. We've got a race to win here. It's all very well scrapping for the lower positions, but we can get more out of this.
Danny Harrison on the 18 kart there, started in 15th place, Jake. He's made up 10 places. He's through to 5th place currently as he comes down the hill through the carousel one more time. Mark Kimber now in behind, and the 11 kart of Miles Apps, they are 6th and 7th. And a bit of a gap back to the drivers behind. These are the drivers behind. 42, Tom Canning. 53 was Thomas Pegram. Pegram loses a spot, loses 2 spots through the compression complex. They come into the compression corner, contact. Thomas Pegram trying to make the place back on Ben Kasperjak, and Kasperjak has spun a 180. Let's have a look at the replay. Now here is the 53 kart on the outside there. That is Thomas Pegram. It's been passed by Kasperjak. Looks to make the move back in the compression corner. Contact and spins him out. Now if that's been seen by the clerks, he may get a warning flag as a minimum for that. He may even get a black flag potentially. He's the one doing the overtaking. Not deliberate, but these things happen. We're into the last lap now, Jake.
Yes, and Ben threw his arms in the air. He was absolutely livid with that manoeuvre, but we're back at the front of the field, and it's Cian Jewis battling it out of the front with the number 5 of Rory Hudson, and this is for the victory. Behind them, Conor Grady sets the fastest lap, but these boys don't care right now. It's the victory or nothing as far as they're concerned. Jewis defends so much that he's got 2 wheels on the grass on the left-hand side. Wheel to wheel, side by side, very nearly out of the complex. Now they are side by side. Down through the compression complex they go. 3 rights, 1, 2, and Hudson's up the inside. Cian, you left the door wide open there, sir. And Rory Hudson up the inside. Jewis is there, and look out, because here comes Hayden in the 58 right behind them as well. It's going to be very close as they come through to the final corner. Can Cian Jewis get him? Oh, he's up over the curbs, and it's going to be to the line. Hudson just takes it in the number 5. Fantastic to the line. Hudson, Hayden, and Jewis. What a fight to the flag. Clipping the curbs twice in that lap cost Cian Jewis big time.
On the last lap, out the double left, I defended well. Out the first right, it was alright, and then the second right, I got hit, and then he got straight up the inside, and then on the last corner, I hit the curb, and then Matthew Hayden went past, and Rory managed to win. So I'd like to say thank you to David Bell Chambers, Next Generation, and my sponsors, Academy Leasing. Come to the last lap, they started battling. I pulled it in on the line, got second, nearly got first, but I was happy to that, and I would like to thank my mum and dad and my sister for all their support, and Team B, British BRK, British Racing Karts.
Rory, great race there. What happened on the last lap?
Well, it was really tight. I mean, Cian Jewis started defending, it was all fine, and then coming to the end of the lap, I went wide and then got the cut back, so I got onto the inside, and then just held it for the last few corners and got the win. Really happy with it.
As close as you like. Brilliant wheel-to-wheel scrapping in that race. Cian Jewis still leads the championship with Rory Hudson claiming a brilliant win in the televised final. Matthew Hayden, what a result for the rookie. That puts him 6th overall in the points behind Miles Apps, Mark Kimber and Morgan Porter for the top 6. And if that's what the racing's like today, bring it on. That was only race 1 of the day, of course. We've got plenty more to come. Next up, of course, it's the Coma Cadets. Don't go away.